How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
All right, listen up, nacho chips. Quiet down, crispy potatoes. This is the moment Velveeta's been preparing you for, and you're not about to crack under pressure. Today's the day to go all in on the drip. Velveeta's Heat and Eat Queso is the MVP of any game day spread, so stick by them, and you'll be golden. Now get out there and make delicious history. No tailgate party is complete without Velveeta.
When your workforce, tech stack, and business needs are evolving all at once, you need HCM software that moves just as fast. That's why Paylocity builds what's next, providing innovative and simplified solutions for clients to tackle the real challenges they face every day. From AI-driven insights to automated workflows across HR, finance, and IT, Paylocity's platform doesn't just keep up, it leads. It's time to simplify complexity, drive results, and move forward together. Start now at paylocity.com/simplified.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Love music?
We do too.
Well, if you ever feel like it's hard to keep up, though, don't worry. We're here to help.
Monday through Friday, Daily Music Headlines gets you the top happenings in music, from chart toppers, news releases, concert announcements, and more.
All in less than 5 minutes.
Don't miss out. Get the show at dailymusicheadlines.com.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
You guys, welcome to another episode of What's Your Issue? My name's Troy McGeady.
And I'm Darlene Sussman.
And, I mean, I hope that you guys have your, grunge, plaid, ripped up cardigans ready. I hope that your hair is bleached and damaged. I hope that you had to go get a chemical cut and then box dyed it like Kool-Aid red. That's the vibe today.
That's the vibe. We're going hard. We're going flannel. Wrap yourself up and get cozy because we're going to have some fun.
It is 1992 around these parts, baby. And I'm so excited.
All right, Troy, let's just get to it. Ask me the damn question.
Dara, what in the hell is your issue?
My issue is Sassy magazine from April 1992 with cover girls Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain. May he rest.
Yeah, this is peak Kurt and Courtney pandemonium insanity. I mean, this is this is a really, really, really iconic cover.
It really is. And I'm excited for it because I actually have never read a Sassy magazine. Have you ever read a Sassy?
Okay, so I was going to ask you about that because I think it might be because it was a little bit before our time.
Yeah, just a touch, just a hair.
Yeah, we just missed Sassy magazine being for the youth. We were a little bit too young. So no, I never really got into Sassy magazine. I've just always heard, as a magazine lover, when you mention old magazines, somebody always brings up, a Gen X person will always bring up Sassy.
Yes.
People really, really love and respect Sassy. May it rest in peace.
And we love and respect Gen Xers, so we gotta give them something too to speak to their own heart. They do, and they're so forgotten, so we have to serve something for them.
This one goes out to Tank Girl.
Oh my God, yes.
But what did you, like, what was your assessment, I guess, of, like, reading this magazine? Because I thought it was one of the most interesting magazines that we've covered so far, by far.
Troy, same. It's honestly unlike any magazine that I've ever read, and I wasn't expecting it at all, so it took a couple pages for me to understand what was happening.
Yeah.
Basically, I would say what I sort of gleaned from it was it felt very much in the voice of Darlene from Roseanne or Daria.
Yeah, that's what I was like, this is Darlene. This whole magazine is Darlene.
It is so Darlene. You know what? It's actually more Darlene than Daria. It's a small nuance. The tone of the magazine, like the voice of the magazine, and every magazine has a voice. I feel like we've started to notice, but this is the most like personified voice, where it feels like it's one person talking, like a person, not just a brand. And also, so what's really interesting about the magazine is it's basically, I barely even know how to describe it, like through the perspective of the editors in a way that you don't see in other magazines. It's not just, oh, this writer of this piece has a byline, first and last name. This is, you're going through it and it's like by Christina.
Yeah.
Like for the cover story, it's by Christina. And I was like, who the fuck's Christina?
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm like, couldn't be Aguilera. She was singing Blue Eyed Soul at the talent shows at this point. So who's Christina?
Who is Christina? At first I thought, oh, maybe, because now I will say I had jumped to the cover article when I first opened it. So I had not, found the context clues of what was going on. And I was like, Christina, is that like a one name thing? Is this magazine just so cool that, their writers are like Cher? It's like, no, there are very few sort of editors, and they're all in the masthead. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
So you have the editor-in-chief, Jane, and then it's just like managing editor, fashion and beauty creative director. There's only it seems like 12 writers for the whole thing.
But it's like you said, you can definitely feel that because the voice feels so streamlined throughout the whole thing. And I definitely now at this point, I've been trying to kind of figure out the voice and the tone of the magazines that we cover, because they all kind of have their own sense of humor. And this one was genuinely, I was genuinely laughing out loud reading some of these articles. It was really, it's very snarky. It's very sarcastic.
So snarky and sarcastic. I mean, basically what it is trying to model itself after is a zine.
Yeah.
Which, a zine is, that's a person making their own magazine. So it is through just their perspective. So it seems like it's really trying to curate that vibe. But I just wanted to, we've been talking about how, when we read a magazine, when we open it up, you're not reading it cover to cover first. You're sort of flipping through and just sort of getting a vibe. And I was thinking, we could try that this week just to sort of get a vibe for the magazine, because we can't just talk about everything, but it's such a really interesting tone that, I don't know, it'd be nice to get a snapshot of what we're working with.
Yeah, and this one in particular is interesting. Even though obviously all of the magazines we've covered have been vintage magazines, they all act as their own kind of time capsule. This one feels the most like a time capsule, even more than the 80s Us Weekly that we did. This really feels like we opened up a buried time capsule somewhere, and this is what they put in it. It is just so... It's just so hyper 1992. It's really I was almost overwhelmed. Just every single page is interesting.
It feels like an on-the-nose parody of 1992.
That's what it is. It feels like a parody.
So, you're flipping through and you get to the Columbia House music guide. And Columbia House, I don't know if you ever did this, Troy, where basically... you would just mail in a coupon for -5 cents and they'd give you 20 CDs.
Yeah. And it was for some reason, it was so exhilarating to look through the thousands of CD options, like as if you couldn't just go to like Walmart or whatever and like buy them. It just felt so coveted. But you couldn't get
it for that cheap. So this one, it says just mail the coupon with check or money order for $1.86. That's 1 cent for your 8 CDs plus $1.85 to cover shipping and handling. But you agree to buy just 6 more selections in the next 3 years at regular club prices, currently $13 to $16 plus shipping and handling. So that's how they get you. It's a very interesting scheme.
And I will say, even in 1992, $13 to $16 doesn't feel. I'm like, wait a minute, I paid more for CDs in 2001.
Exactly, that's a lot. And then, we've got just a Lee jeans ad with just the longest shorts you ever did see, which are now in style again.
Yeah, I was going to say, this girl looks like every girl I walk past in New York. Every single girl is after those jorts.
Oh, 100. And then on page 32, it has, movies, music, and some such things, so we can sort of get a vibe for the time period. Now, the movies, we have Where Angels Fear to Tread, Ruben and Ed, The Cutting Edge, and Gladiator. I would say Gladiator isn't even that Gladiator.
No.
Like the famous Gladiator.
Yeah.
It's not the Liz Taylor at the Oscars going, Gladiator. It's some indie Gladiator that I haven't heard of a single one of these movies. Have you?
No. I haven't. I have not. It made me feel like I was like, wait, am I like lame for not knowing any of these?
That's how I felt as well. And then a few pages later, they have music. Shonen Knife, their album 712. Never heard of them. Lou Reed, Magic and Loss. I know Lou Reed.
Yes.
The Mills. Beastie Boys, of course. But very much, you're not going to be hearing about these 3 artists in Cosmo.
No. No. Well, that's the other thing that I find interesting about Sassy. I kind of have a harder time, like, nailing down the sassy girl. Like,
yeah,
she is Darlene, but I'm like, how old is she? And like, her likes are just so all over the place. Like, she's listening to Lou Reed, she's using Sunin, she's, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't, it's hard to place, like, whereas every other, like, female-centric magazine we've done, like, we were able to clock who the girl is within, like, minutes. Like, it's so obvious. The sassy girl is a little bit more out there.
Yeah. Okay, go with me here. The age group I think this is, and this is very specific, it's for a college girl, and then it's also meant for that girl's little sister.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Like a younger girl, there's only going to be, like a 13 to 17-year-old girl might not be finding Sassy on her own, but this is passed down to her by an older female influence.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Because this makes you feel very well read, very cool, very like you're not reading about like, how to smell good for your man. Like, it's like these articles are like kind of deep thinking.
Yeah.
And it's wildly diverse for a women's magazine in the early 90s.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just on page 64, there is a little spread called Braid It. Twist, lock, thread, corkscrew, plate. There's no limit to your ravishing, swinging hair options. And feels unheard of for the time period, which is very cool.
It's so cool. It's so like forward thinking for like an early 90s magazine. And it's kind of like getting into, because this is like peak 90s braid era culture. This is like Janet, like Poetic Justice braids having their moment. And like all the girls are doing different size box braids, like either like the big, huge, giant, massive ones, or like the tiny little thin, like brandy braids. But like it's braid era. Like 92 was like, braids were so mainstream. And I love there's a part in here where they say something like, the thing about fake hair is you can use any color. It could be pink, fake hair can be blue, it can be purple, and they're like, and it even looks good on white girls.
Oh no.
Like, no.
Yeah, there are quite a few, as sort of progressive as Sassy can be, there's a lot of stuff where you're like, oh, okay, this is still 1992 white progressive, where or feminist or whatever, where it's like, oh, you're getting there, but you're also saying girls who care about how they put themselves together are hoe bags.
Yeah, basically. And like, how short is that scene really gonna get? But yeah, okay, so it says over in Africa, hair sculptures have been a serious art for ages. Some looks were ceremonial, like getting a special style as a rite of passage. Some were purely beauteous. And each region of the continent had its own cool do's. Today, braiding your hair looks gorge and links up to your history. It's practical because once the actual time-consuming braiding is done, the styles are very low maintenance. Plus, your hair gets really healthy and grows longer since it's not being tormented by constant comb-outs, chemicals, and heat styling. You'll probably need to add more hair extensions to what you've already got, so your braided head won't look all patchy and baldy. The stylist works in synthetic hair, a wool for more fullness at the top, also for more length if you want. You can go wild with color in the color department too. Besides brown and black, synthetic hair comes in pink, purple, yellow, and red. Like as if those are like those are the colors. And it says, identically, all these looks work perfectly on white girls too. Like, imagine
perfectly. Oh, Sassy, you influenced the wrong direction, baby.
Girl, if you guys only knew.
Another kind of just fun little thing to breeze through is just a fashion spread called Kiki Little Numbers, and that's on 44, and it's just about basically Bermuda shorts. And it says, get out of here with the lycra schmats. Skin tight sleeves wear is over. And then if you go through all of the pictures, they have these kind of like big title captions, and one says, fitted waists, full skirts, abdominal exercises are obsolete.
Dara, this section made my head spin around. I was in shock. This basically is about how you can
I guess it's about dresses, not Bermuda shorts. I don't know why I said that.
Well, some of them look like Bermuda shorts, but you're like, this is the gaucho section.
Yeah,
but no, it's like about how, like, thank God, like, billowy dresses are finally in because we can eat. That's what this is about.
Eat. Oh my God, yeah. On 48, it's a gal in a big dress, and she's eating a pastry, and it just says in big letters, "Eat a solid meal." Period.
Who's gonna notice?
Who's gonna notice?
That is insane. Like, this literally is about how you can eat in these dresses. Like,
it is.
They're all very cute, by the way. I will say they're all really cute.
They're super cute. I will also say, I guess it's an interesting like example of the time period that a sort of grungy type of magazine is like now saying like, oh, the sleeves, basically like indie sleeves tight stuff is over. Go like a little girly, but still baggy.
Yeah. And I'm thinking Tori Spelling just woke up in a cold sweat because I'm pretty sure the girls are still wearing bodycon dresses, babes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sass.
Yeah. Sorry, Sass. Another interesting little part is on page 40, the What Now section, which is just completely, it's written, well, it's by Christina, and it's all through her perspective, and it's basically just like a little collection of the things Christina's into right now.
This is the most zine section.
Zine as hell.
It literally says zine of the month. I guess it is, that's the intention.
But it has some of her recs or what she's into. So her zine of the month, which was K Composite, which I'd love to know if that rings a bell for anyone. Sonic Youth Fan Club, she's touting. And then there's a quote here that says, "When will I get over 17's constant chomping of Sassy's ideas? I would like to rise above it, but I can't."
Ooh, tea. The girls are fighting.
Ooh, we love that.
I also love this little quote at the top. It's so 92, where she says, "First, there were the Katarina Witt commercials for Diet Coke. Then that lame figure skating episode of Beverly Hills 90210. And now that movie, The Cutting Edge. Is figure skating the new lambada of 1992? Yeah, it is, Christina."
Yeah.
When she said Katarina Witt, I literally had a That's So Raven moment. Like, my eyes dilated. Like, Katarina Witt? Oh.
It's crazy how you remember these Olympians and, like, figure skaters. And it's, like, figure skaters and gymnasts. Mm-hmm. For some reason, the big names, like, they're just in my brain.
Yeah.
Just chiseled.
Yes.
Chiseled with an ice skate.
Yeah. Christy Yamaguchi, Tara Lupinski.
Christy.
I mean, I could go on. Like, 90s figure skating and, like you said, gymnastics. But for me, it was I was obsessed with figure skating. Like,
me too.
Michelle Kwan was like my mother.
Oh my God. Christy Yamaguchi, I got this kit, a rollerblading kit, and it came with a VHS video of how to use them, and Christy Yamaguchi was the teacher.
She was so cool and so beautiful. I just thought she was like the coolest thing ever.
The absolute hottest. And then there's also, she says she has a Sassy glossary, definition number 48. Boob tray. Noun, a tacky bustier, the kind that lifts your breasts up high enough to touch your chin. Usage, the prototype of dirt, featured a photo of Carl Werher wearing a boob tray. This month's glossary definition, courtesy of Stone Cold Fox, Dan Estabrook.
I love the idea that they get to put their own zine inside this magazine. Like, that is so cool.
It's so cool. And then one more thing in our little flip through that I just like, it's just such a great example of, I don't know, the voice of the magazine. And it's also crazy. Page 60, Trouble in Daddyland.
Let's talk about it.
An article all about like how to get along with your dad. And this article is by Margie. It says, Mr. Brady never had to lecture Marcia about wearing a hoe bag skin tight mini or dating a skank because, hey, Brady children never did it or even thought about doing it. In reality, though, around Marcia time, you start to wear makeup, get more interested in guys, and vice versa. Dad freaks for several reasons. Because you're becoming a sexual adult means he's losing you. Because he remembers what a horny pig he was when he was young, so he knows what teenage boys are like. Because on the most primal level, the idea of you're having sex with some shemp creeps him out in psychological ways I don't feel like getting into. Parentheses. Let's just say there's a definite sexual vibe between you and Dad. I'm not talking incest here. That's a whole other story. But a normal male-female tension.
Dora?
Sassy just telling it like it is.
Dora, when I read that, I was about to text you and say, what do you have me reading, girl?
I know.
What's this? This, as my first ever Sassy article that I've ever read in full, this was crazy. This entire article literally is about how, like, you're changing and, like, your dad, it's basically explaining like why your dad is like uncomfortable and like maybe why he's being like more aggressive or more mean to you or like more like rule restrictive or whatever. And like it's because he's like threatened by, they're like, you might be going to college and like getting a better job than he has, like you might be, you know, about to like get paid more than he gets paid right now, and like that's really hard for him, like it. And then I just want to read this part really quickly where they say dealing with your own sexuality and adult type decisions about your future can be scary and infuriating. And girls often don't feel that they can express anger openly the way boys do. It's part of that whole deal of society's expecting girls to be quiet and agreeable. So girls may end up turning their fury inward. For some, that can take a very dangerous turn, as in anorexia, which can be your way of saying, see, Dad, you can't take control over my body, even though you tried to manipulate my life. It's also a way of getting back into the bod you had as a little girl. No breasts, no periods. So Dad will love you like he did before you were a sexual entity. I'm sorry. Like, I was really blown away by this article. I would say this is probably one of the crazier articles we've read so far.
Yeah, this article to me was a really great window into the vibe of Sassy, particularly because it, you know, I feel like there's probably magazines that try to be like, oh, we're indie, we're cool. Like, I would almost even say something like Nylon.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they're still a little bit mainstream. It's like, not saying that it's like the hot topic of magazines, but kind of where it's like, yeah, we're different, but you're still being sold at a mall. Sassy, like Nylon would never have an article like this, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Because they would be worried about advertisers. They'd be worried about parents being like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But this article, I mean, I guess it's a magazine that knows that it doesn't have just some huge readership.
Mm-hmm.
Comparatively, where this isn't going to go, quote, viral.
Right. Yeah, it's just
and
like
get them in trouble because so they can say whatever they want.
This is like really crazy. Like it's crazy the kind of, and like now I just like can't get Darlene out of my head, which is ironic because they say in this, for your part, cut the guy some slack because of all your aforementioned ambivalence. In many ways, there's no way that he can win with you. Understand that this transition is hard for him too. Try to do some stuff together. Fix an air conditioner. Go for a bike ride. My source of quality time with my father. Watch Roseanne.
Oh. Now, I will say this. If Dan Connor was my dad, there would be a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah.
Because oh my God. I was way too young to be like, ooh, horned up over Dan Connor.
Trust me. I get it. I absolutely understand.
I mean, just to like walk into the garage and see that man like working on a bike.
Yeah, like shining his hog from the 70s. And it's also, I mean, speaking of Roseanne, like what a perfect show to like describe what they're trying to put into words in this article, because
yeah,
I think Roseanne does a better job than most shows of depicting that you have different relationships with your kids.
Yes.
And like Dan was so close to Darlene, never close to Becky. And then they got older, and like when Darlene stopped doing boy stuff, he like didn't know how to relate to her anymore, and they basically stopped speaking. You know, it's just very interesting.
Yeah, and like I feel like when she starts having sex, it like really rattles him.
Yeah.
And then when she gets pregnant, like it's, yeah, and we never kind of see that with Becky. With Becky, it's just sort of like a sort of general, like, don't get pregnant. But with Darlene, I mean, because Darlene was a little Roseanne.
Exactly. And Becky was like the goody two-shoes that got the good grades and was always, you know, had the boys after her and was popular, you know, and it's almost like he didn't have to worry about her. But yeah, like Darlene was like his son until she wasn't. And like, that's exactly what this article is about. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's really, I am just bowled over by this one. I didn't fully understand what we were getting into with Sassy until this article. It was like, okay, Sassy goes hard.
Yeah, this was the first one that I read, and I was like, okay, that this is what Sassy Magazine is. Like, I had no idea, but I'm very intrigued. Like, now I'm really excited to do more of this magazine, because I'm like,
yeah,
I get why it had such an insane cult following. Like, people love Sassy.
This is a cool magazine. I can't imagine how much I would have loved it if someone had introduced it to me. But, you know, I didn't have an older sister.
Yeah.
To pass off copies. All right. Well, that was our little flip through. We got a vibe. What we're dealing with. So let's scoot boot on over to letters from the editor. And Troy, we actually have, I don't know if you know, 2 letter to the editor reviews.
I'm so excited.
So we're going to read those. Oh, I will also say, so these 2 people, they left 5-star reviews in the style of letter to the editor. And, you know, please, we love that. We'll read it. The first one says, subject line, letter to the editors. New listener here, just finished the episode featuring Madonna on the cover of Us Weekly, and I have 2 corrections. When you're talking about River Phoenix and the whole Phoenix fam, you 2 can't believe Joaquin isn't mentioned. He actually is. He went by Leaf as a child because he wanted a name like his siblings. And Summer Phoenix was the sister married to Casey Affleck. That's all. Thanks for chatting, Mags. 5 stars.
Okay. I didn't know that he went by a different name.
Listen, we're not above corrections.
We love it, actually.
We love it. And, you know, so feel free. Just don't be mad at us.
Don't bully the girls.
But, you know, we are archivists here. We are sharing history. We're working together.
And you guys know that we're bimbos. Like, and above all things.
We're fucking bimbos, which also, case in point, in our last episode, we'll call this an editor's note, an editor's correction. We said that, oh, fuck, I can't keep the baseball player's name straight. A-Rod. I said that he was the one that gave out gift bags and, like, signed baseballs to girls he fuked. And it was Derek Jeter, which I just want to say, I'm not being, like, making excuses, but I did know that.
Okay.
I did know that, and I just always mix them up because they're famous baseball players, and it just is what it is.
First of all, so have I, and also ironic that he was giving out both gift bags and herpes. He's a giver.
2 for 1. And then our other letter to the editor. Hey, Troy and Dara, I just have to say that your Cosmopolitan episode with Rihanna as the cover star was one of the funniest episodes of a podcast I have ever listened to. The way you guys discussed the truly heinous sex tips was gut-bustingly hilarious. I was genuinely tearing up at my job, and I could tell my coworkers were confused, LOL. My main suggestion would be more Cosmo issues. I already love how you guys jump around through the 80s to 2010s and go from cheesy tabloids to highbrow editorial moments. You two also have spectacular chemistry together. I look forward to every new episode as this show really helps my day go by faster. Keep up the incredible work. Love you guys. And that was from Karina C. from Missouri.
That was so
Karina
nice.
Karina C., we love you.
That was awesome. That episode did make me laugh really hard. Like, that was Cosmo, I will probably never look at the same, and I'm more obsessed now than I ever have been.
It's also, you know, Cosmo is tough because we could comb through that magazine and have like a 6-hour-long episode on one issue.
I know, to be such a vapid magazine, there's so much to talk about.
Okay, so now we'll go to the letters from the editor. Letters to the editors from Sassy. We'll read 1 or 2. So that's on page 7. It's Say What. And this one is from Jackie in Knightstown, Indiana. Relating to schizophrenia. Dear Margiekins, I was crying after I read, what do voices in your head sound like? My ex-boyfriend Jason was a schizophrenic and, like Michael, was brilliant yet nonsensical. I tried to understand him, but instead he slowly deteriorated right before my eyes. The best thing the friends and family of people like Michael and Jason can do is educate themselves about mental illness and never give up the fight. Sassy is built different.
It is built so different. Every turn is unexpected. I never know what I'm going to get.
I mean, I love it.
It's amazing. It's like a junk drawer of a magazine, but in a good way.
Yes. Yes.
This one is from Jill in Middletown, Ohio. It says, the last word on 90210. I was just wondering if you could further explain your 90210 is a fascist crock comment on the February spine line. I'm sure you get a lot of hateful letters about this, and I wanted mine to be civilized. I'd appreciate any information that you could supply. And they responded, my pleasure. Actually, most people were too busy hating other stuff to notice the spine line. I dislike the show mainly because it promotes the country's already unnatural obsession with the beautiful, thin, affluent white person. As you know, there are plenty of people in this country and on this staff who disagree with me. And that is from Mary Kay. The thing about Sassy is that they're not afraid to get sassy. Like, they will... I love that they'll, like, just read their listener or their readers.
Well, and then on page 9, they have Sassy's first and only staff hate mail awards, which I love. The winner is Mike. The deciding factor was the avalanche Mike got after he insulted Skid Row. So Mike is one of the writers. Letters like, quote, reading Mike's article made me want to track him down and pull at his prized possession until he was no longer able to create wood, end quote. And this from Denver, which took a more psychoanalytical approach, quote, now I would like to help you, Mike, because I feel that you have a deep-rooted fear of not being a real man since you write for a teenage girls magazine, end quote. Also, the hundreds of responses from all over to Mike's Nelson dissing, curiously almost all signed, quote, Nelson's biggest fan. Another of Mike's letters overwhelmingly takes the most obscenities crammed into one paragraph category, but you'll have to take my word for that.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I have to read the second place winner. It says, Christina elicits equally personal dissection. Quote, you're boring. Not to mention you're also physically repulsive. Woof. We know, we've seen pictures of you, as well as ad nauseum references to her menstrual cycle, PMS head on the rag, in constant premenstrual tension, etc. Like, oh my God.
I mean, good Lord.
I guess you had to get your endorphins when you could, when there was no Twitter.
Yeah, I guess people have always been mean and just wanting to criticize creative people, I guess. But yeah, they didn't have Instagram comment sections. You had to snail mail your hate.
Is this little thing at the bottom that says, P.S. did we mention that we hate Jane? Is that in reference to Jane magazine?
No, that is Jane, the editor-in-chief.
Oh, they just hate Jane.
Yeah. Oh. Just Jane.
Okay, they just literally hate
the
her.
woman.
Okay.
Not the entity.
And I also have to say that I love that on this same page is a teen Midol ad with this like very, very 1992 girl wearing like neon red tights, like a gingham mini skirt with like a red sweater to match her tights, an armful of bracelets, a button up, a tie, and her hair's blowing, and it says, how to make your period less of a pain.
I will say, if someone told me that this was a picture taken of a Swiftie, like a fashionable Swiftie today, I would say absolutely.
1,000%.
Okay, and then on to page 26, a little article titled What He Said. And this is pretty reminiscent of Cosmo Girl, but with a sassy bent. What He Said by Margie. Are beauty pageants bogus?
Oh, God.
And so it's all of these guys like sounding off. But in the same, and Cosmo has the same kind of article, but it's guys being like, I don't like when girls wear makeup, but I do want them to look hot all the time. This is a little more. These are some thoughtful gentlemen, and one of them, including, speaking of Roseanne, Johnny Galecki, 16, stars on ABC's Billy, which I'm sure is just fabulous. He was born in Belgium, has an eckhound named Gunner, likes motorcycles, tomboyish spunky girls, and the Sex Pistols, and may get a recurring role on Roseanne. So cute. As for pageants, quote, I'm not much of an authority on them. Some of my friends who are models told me there's even like beauty pageant summer camps. I think some of them are fixed. I don't mean to gag you or anything, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Pageants are kind of derogatory. I don't know why girls would put themselves through it. I couldn't.
He looks really cute in that picture too.
He's adorable.
Man, that's so funny that they're like, I've never seen a magazine be like, and he might be booking a job.
That is crazy to me. I feel like his managers might have read that and been like, Johnny, you can't say that in print.
See if they can take it out. It's already in print. I want to read Ben's. So Ben is 18, and it says, was kidding when he said he enjoys jello juggling and mud wrestling, I hope. He writes, plays guitar. He writes and plays guitar in Oberlin, Ohio, and favors Dinosaur Jr. and the Velvet Underground. He watched Miss America and Miss Universe a few times to, quote, study it, and has harsh words. He says, quote, it's more arbitrary than even college admissions. You can't tell one person from the next. They all love little furry animals, want to save the environment, and hope for world peace.
Oh, okay, wait. There's one more that I have to read. I love it because it's such a read. The Sherwinator. Khalil Gibran and the Buddha of Suburbia by Hanif Qureshi are his fave books. He's thumbs down on pageants, quote, if they concentrate only on the physical and there's no value on intelligence. That number system when they come out in bathing suits is pretty repulsive, but it's a woman's choice to enter and be proud of herself and get prizes. It's unhealthy for girls to measure themselves against that, though. They should cancel them just so we don't have to hear another woman sing On My Own from Les Mis.
Oh.
Honestly, that is a perfect answer.
That was actually really profound.
Yeah, and to even understand the nuance of On My Own from Les Mis as being like the sort of like high school girl, like I'm performing and I want a scream belt.
Yeah. It's very like Christina from Laguna Beach doing her audition.
I mean, I suppose he just thought of that from... Wait, was Dawson's Creek even out yet?
I don't think so.
No. Oh my God. Because Joey ends up singing On My Own in a pageant on the show.
That is so... What a profound little answer for a young man.
Where is the Sherwinator? I am
just... Oh my God.
Troy, have you ever been to a pageant before?
Have I ever been to a pageant?
Seen a friend or anything in a pageant?
You know, for someone who really liked Toddlers and Tiaras a little too much, you would think, but no. I've never actually gone to a pageant.
I have been in 3.
Oh my God. How old were you?
The first one, I was maybe like 14, and it was Miss New Hampshire USA, which is an absolute money pit.
Oh my!
And I had no business doing it. The other 2 were like qualifying pageants for Miss America, and then I was in college. Pageants were huge in New Hampshire.
Wow!
I sang "Stupid Cupid."
Oh my dark! The amount of money that I would, like, you know, people are like trying to get the Diddy tapes on the dark web.
Yeah.
I need the Dara tapes. I need the pageant tapes. Like, is it filmed?
I think it could be somewhere, actually. I'll have to... I think God, I wonder if there's still pictures of it on Facebook.
Oh my God. Did you win any money or prizes or anything?
0%.
Well, that's not what it's about.
You know? And I was also, I think, blonde at the time.
Oh, wow.
But I was still Dara. Like, one of my on-stage questions was like, what's your favorite show and why? Or no, it was like, what show do you think describes you? Or something like that. And I answer with a way too excited, like, 30 Rock, because, like, I want to work in comedy, and, like, I'm, like, totally, like, Tina Fey.
You start quoting 30 Rock.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, no, honey. But listen, I think I probably did a great job at singing Stupid Cupid, not necessarily because of the pipes, but because of the moxie.
Hello.
Okay.
That's all you really need. That is so iconic. That's my favorite random thing that I've ever learned about you.
Listen, it was a weird time. And my dad, would not go. He went to the Miss USA one because, I don't know, I was a child and he didn't really know what it was about. But then when I got back into it, he, refused to go because it made him uncomfortable that people were judging his daughter in a bathing suit and, all that stuff. I was like on a feminist stance. He was like, he probably just didn't want to go.
You're like, Dad, when I get back, we can build the air conditioner, okay?
Yeah.
Watch Roseanne.
It was very much like a Roseanne episode if, Darlene ever decided to do a pageant because for whatever stupid reason, scholarship money. And then it was like, no, you don't got it, girly.
It's so funny because, before I fully had my frontal lobe, my friends and I would watch Toddlers and Tiaras like it was Seinfeld. We would watch it as if it was, this written comedy. And it's now I look at that, I can't even watch that show for 1 second without it makes my stomach hurt. But back then, I would literally be like, she's gonna take it. She's taking Grand Supreme. And I remember we had a strict we hated watching natural pageants. We were sick.
Oh, the natural pageants, let's be real though, it doesn't have the same joie de vivre.
Girl, you better put a flipper in and tease that hair, mama.
Okay. I mean, I will also say I loved Toddlers and Tiara, but I also just loved watching Miss America and Miss USA.
Oh, it's so fun.
Now we will move on to the cover story on page 50.
As I scroll past a Sun-In ad, the best thing to happen to highlights since Sunshine.
I actually have a theory on ads, on the ads in this magazine that we can discuss when we get to our ads section.
I do have to say just very quickly before we get super deep into the Kurt and Courtney of it all, there's not that many pictures, but I love this photo shoot.
Oh, I would say it's come for the article, but you're staying for the photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the article is a little thin, shall we say?
Yeah.
As one might expect of two heroin addicts.
Yeah.
You're maybe not getting too much out of him.
Yeah. And Kurt's already so shy and I think they do a good job of kind of depicting their vibe where Courtney's not really letting him speak and she's talking for him and clearly just unapologetically wants to be famous so bad and is a unapologetic narcissist, really enjoys being the center of attention. Whereas Kurt, they say specifically not in a rude way, but he will sit in silence for obscene amounts of time, and it's Courtney doesn't even notice.
Well, and I'm sure for him that he appreciated that in her, because if she can just so easily take up space, then he doesn't have to speak. Then a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah. What are your what's your Kurt and Courtney journey? Did you grow up loving them and worshiping them and collecting the things and all of that?
I would say maybe not necessarily worshiping or anything, but I was really into them. I was really into Courtney. I was also into Kurt, but just, I don't know. He was sort of dead by the time I was super sentient. I was very interested in his life, but Courtney was still alive and she was still in the zeitgeist, and I loved the Molly Shannon Courtney impression and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I watched Sid and Nancy just to watch her in it and
Me
things
too.
like that. Aww. What was your Courtney and Kurt's vibe?
Kind of the same. Like, I was definitely not into grunge, which shouldn't, I guess that wouldn't surprise anybody listening.
Yeah.
I wasn't a grunge child.
No.
And like you said, I mean, by the time I feel like I started to make my own decisions about music, like, the pop explosion had happened and grunge was, like, leaving. You know, it was, like, Spice Girls era. So
yeah.
It's like, maybe if I, again, this like, Sassy is like the generation above us, so it's like, maybe if I was a little bit older, I probably would have, because then,
yeah,
like, my version of, like, getting, like, grunge was, like, indie rock and, you know, MySpace bands and stuff, so, like, I think I would have loved Nirvana, but I just was too young to care, but I was always fascinated, and I always found him really interesting, and I loved watching, like, documentaries and stuff about them, and, you know.
Yeah, I guess what I'm realizing to a degree is that my interest in Kurt and Courtney, until I started getting into Hole, and, like, I loved them. But prior to that, I feel like so much of my interest was, like, morbidity. Because there were always... You know, I was watching every, like, I Love the 90s or any sort of, like, celebrity stuff like that on VH1 or E, and he was just all over that.
Yeah.
So I was very much into the lore of, like, this person getting famous so quickly and then killing themselves, and also, like, people saying that Courtney did it and blah, blah, like, not that I've ever been interested in that sort of conspiracy theory, but just the whole dark aura of the situation. You know, I was into true crime and, like, death stuff before it was mainstream, baby.
Yeah. Well, no, that's like, you just put that so perfectly, because I couldn't really figure out how to describe it. But yeah, like, especially during that time, it was like a really heightened, because it was so recent. So it was like a very heightened, like, let's examine this case. And every channel was doing some kind of story about his death and the conspiracy. And I've watched I probably knew him more through that lens than, like, actual music.
Yeah.
Now, Courtney, on the other hand.
Now,
Courtney, I knew as a pop culture figure. Like, to me, Courtney Love was the kooky, crazy lady who would show up at award shows or at red carpets or on talk shows. Like, you know, I remember watching her on, like, Barbara Walters on, like, 2020 or things like that, and just thinking she was so interesting. And then from, like, a fashion aspect, I just, like, I thought she was the coolest. Even to this day, I don't think that Courtney Love gets enough credit for her knowledge of fashion, her contribution to fashion. And it's almost like people look at her and think that she just kind of, like, rolled around and threw a bunch of clothes on or something, and then all of a sudden she was, like, this grunge icon. And it's like, no, like, if you look at the landscape of rock music at that time, like, it wasn't just that Courtney was grunge, it was that she was grunge in hyper feminine, which was, like, in its own way really rebellious. So she was wearing these tiny little dresses, no bra, red lipstick, a princess crown, you know, covering her microphone in flowers. Like, there was something rebellious about it being hyper feminine because she was in a boys club. And I just always thought that was really cool, that, like, even though she was, like, spitting at the audience and, like, pouring liquor on people and, like, being crazy, she was so girly.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that at this point, you would think that people would just kind of just embrace Courtney. But I feel like people are still so hesitant to give her any sort of major credit.
I agree.
Like, there are certainly some people, but even some gals that I know that I feel like would worship her are people who are like contrarian and well, I don't know, maybe she killed him, and not fully, I don't know. I don't understand people's full hesitancy in embracing her. A theory I have is because she was doing heroin while she was pregnant.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to a woman and like the general public look at as like the sacred duty of being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, she wasn't a good mother, so we cannot fully accept her. Whereas, you know, Kurt, it didn't matter that, you know, he was doing the same things. And like they were both drug addicts with a problem. It's still like, well, but the love of her daughter should have transcended addiction.
Yeah, in reality, it's like the difference between her and somebody like a Steven Tyler or Tommy Lee is that they can't get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like it's not like she went around saying like, "Don't condemn me. I'm a great mom and I'm responsible."
Yeah.
Like she was the one saying, "I'm a mess. I'm a mess." Like she's always been so open and honest about it. It's like she's not admirable, but there is something cool about the fact that she's never tried to lie about who she is.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, even when you look at like those old interviews and stuff of her with like Barbara Walters and Barbara being like interrogating her about the drugs and stuff that she's done, there was something about the fact that she was a woman that made it more violent to people versus like, you know.
Without a doubt. Well, I think, you know, if you look at Britney, I think during her breakdown era, there wouldn't have been so much hate towards her. I think there would have been a lot more compassion had she not had children.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course, you know, people were not thinking about postpartum depression and all of that. But it's like, oh, you're a mother.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the babies? And
exactly.
It's like, well, just because you're a mom doesn't mean you don't have drug addiction or mental health issues. It sucks, but...
And that's like one of the other things that I've always found very fascinating about her is that like, I think she's such an enigma, and like people view her as like this idiot. Like they think that she's just like this cracked out, wacky, you know, walking up Times Square barefoot lunatic lady. But like she's actually so intelligent and she's so quick
so
and funny
smart.
And you know, like she's so, if you would just listen to her speak, I mean, even to like circle back, like even just like her knowledge of fashion and her collection of fashion is insane. I don't know if you guys have ever watched, like, she's given like tours of her closet. And so she's like if anything, I would say she kind of has an addiction to like buying collector's items and like not like trinket items, but like for example, like she has a collection of nightgowns from like the 19th century, you know what I mean? Like
I love it.
Like she has an entire closet of these like $14,000, $15,000, $20,000 vintage nightgowns that are, you know, 200 years old or whatever. And like she can tell you everything about the fabrics and the way that they're sewn together and the adornments and the tags and what this tag means. And I remember reading a story about how she sent her assistant on this like wild goose chase to buy, what are those things called that you like, that it's not a cane.
Troy, I'm going to tell you this. We had this exact conversation.
Is it you that I talked about this with?
Yes, and we both were like, what is that cane called?
That cane thing that you like walk on. It's like and like a aristocratic cane.
That is funny. It's like you know how when you listen to a podcast and you're like, did a friend tell me that, or was it on a podcast? And somehow this is both.
Or have we been podcasting together for like 6 years? But no, yeah, she's just like, she's so smart. And like I just wish that people would like listen to her more rather than just like judge her based on like photos of her wasted or something.
Yeah, it's very Yoko coded, I feel.
That's really what it is.
Where no one gives Yoko her due that, like, I mean, with she broke up the Beatles aside, which she didn't, but just the fact that she was a creative, she was an artist in her own right. And I don't know, like the way people talk about Courtney, like, oh, well, Kurt wrote all of her songs. It's like, no, he didn't. And actually, what I find kind of sucks about it all is like Kurt was a feminist and he was like he He was a sensitive feminist. And people say this stuff like as if to avenge him, when actually he would absolutely hate that that's the way people talk about her, and like trying to take her legacy away from her. Like, yes, she is a flawed human. So was Kurt. And she's a huge part of a monumental time in music and pop culture history.
And like, give Hole their fucking due as well. Like, oh my God. Like, by the time I got old enough, Celebrity Skin just hit at the perfect time. Like, it was the perfect year for that album to happen, for that transition to happen. Like, that album, Malibu is like my favorite, one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time.
Mine too. It is, when I moved to LA, actually, that whole album, but especially Malibu, that was my driving around. Like, I'm in California and like, I'm a single woman starting my life. Yeah.
You're like, in Malibu. Well, was there anything specific from the article that stood out to you?
What I found really interesting about this article was actually just the perspective of Christina, the writer.
Yeah.
Like, it was so very much, it felt very little about them, and it wasn't like other profiles where you feel like a very succinct takeaway or almost thesis from the profile. It felt very much, it kind of gave the vibe of like school newspaper.
Yeah, it's a really thin interview, which kind of sucks because it's a super interesting time in their lives, like where they are career-wise and stuff, and like in their marriage, like, you know, they don't like have a child yet.
They're not even married yet. They're just
engaged, right?
They're just engaged. Well, I'll read the first opening. The article is called Kurt and Courtney Sitting in a Tree, and it says, the lead singer of Nirvana and the lead singer of Hole are getting married. They're buying a Victorian house in Seattle and want to have a baby. It is so nice to see a multi-platinum rock star in love with an opinionated feminist, ambitious rocker, not some supermodel in a boob tray. We were alerted to what boob tray meant earlier. It's 1 p.m. and I've been sitting in this East Village restaurant since noon, waiting for Nirvana's Kurt Cobain and Hole's Courtney Love to arrive for our interview. On this particular rainy afternoon, Nirvana has the #1 record in the country, The Awesome Nevermind, which has sold like 3 million copies. The album was their first for a major label. Their debut, Bleach, was released on Sub Pop in 1989 and sold only 50,000 back when they were just a Northwest punk trio with an underground following. Their sudden, massive, and shocking success has made the band sought after by media all over the world, and the anti-mainstream Kurt has blown off everyone from Rolling Stone to the New York Times. Also, at this time, all kinds of major labels are trying to woo Hole, the Foxcore band whose drummer was included in our February piece on Girl Drummers. Away from Caroline, which released their first record, Pretty on the Inside. I should be worried that they're not going to make it to this interview, but I've been told that Kurt and Courtney are both Sassy readers, and I just know they're going to show up. I will say, when I read this, it dawned on me that this is very Chappell Roan coded.
Yeah.
Sensitive person getting overnight fame.
Yeah.
And not being able to handle it. But for Kurt, it's cool, and it's like, oh, he's not a sellout, but for her, this is what you knew, this is what the job was.
Yeah. You know how many people would kill to be in your position, you little bitch.
Yo, bitch.
And it's so funny. I remember being younger and like being really put off by that. Like, I was really, but for them, like, I was put off by how anti the establishment they were, because like I loved the establishment as a kid.
Oh my God, we suckled the teat of the establishment. All we wanted was to be pulled out of school and dropped in Orlando to be famous.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you like not be grateful to MTV for giving you an award that is completely political and that they just chose and made up. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the time though, I was like, oh, they're so annoying that they won't just like accept that they're famous.
Yeah.
You know, and now of course that I'm older, I'm like, well, It's like they didn't value any of that stuff before, and then they were forced into it, and then they still didn't care when they were in it, you know? I love, too, in this article that she keeps kind of reminding you that Courtney, like, won't let anybody else talk. I don't know why it makes me laugh.
This really, I will give Christina that this article does paint a picture to a degree.
Yes, for sure. I like this little section. It says, this is from Kurt. It says, I've gotten engaged and my attitude has changed drastically. And I can't believe how much happier I am and how even less career-oriented I am. At times, I even forget that I'm in a band. I'm so blinded by love. I know that sounds embarrassing, but it's true. I could give the band up right now. It doesn't matter. But I'm under contract. What a wondrously sweet thing to say. I can't believe it. When Courtney tells me that a friend of hers called her up in Europe and told her not to go out with Kurt. She told me, what you're doing is culturally important and you'll just get swallowed up by going out with Kurt. Hello. Courtney continues, we get attention for our relationship, but if we didn't have bands, no one would care. I mean, the reason we're doing this interview is girls have been trained to look up to rock star boys as these objects. They grow up their whole lives with horses or rock stars on their walls. For me, I didn't want to marry a rock star. I wanted to be one. I had a feminist hippie mom, and she told me I could do whatever I wanted. But a lot of girls think that to go out with somebody who's cool or successful, they have to be pretty and submissive and quiet. They can't be loud and obnoxious like me. And they can't have their own thing.
So Courtney. I love it. So
Courtney.
I will also say in the beginning of the article, the writer refers to whole as foxcore. Courtney was very against.
I forgot about that.
Because she thought it was demeaning. Because it was just assigned to women in grunge bands. Just a little side note.
My last little side note about Courtney is that my favorite thing about her is that she, for whatever, and we read about this, I think, in Blender, is that I'm surprised she doesn't mention Madonna in this article. Because she believes that her and Madonna are like feud sisters. Like Ryan Murphy is going to make a show about them at some point. Like, and which is, so this lore is like always evolving for me. And I actually just read like a few days ago. I don't remember the exact context and I'll have to like look it up and like bring the facts back to the show. But like there was a fork in the road moment where Madonna was going to sign, or no, Madonna wanted to do grunge for a while, and then she ended up doing bedtime stories instead, and she went like 90s R&B, but she wanted to do grunge, and she was going to start a side project with Courtney.
Can you imagine?
Like a grunge female like band.
Oh, that can you what that sort of feels like to me is, I don't know if you remember the made-for-TV movie that was about, like, supposedly Lorne Michaels had called, after the Beatles broke up, he called John and he called Paul and he was like, come reunite on SNL. Supposedly they thought about it, they almost did it, and then they didn't. There's this made-for-TV movie where it's like, but what if they did? And to me, like, I would kill for the made-for-TV movie of what Madonna and Courtney's grunge band would be. Can you imagine?
The money I would pay. Oh, it would have been so... I mean, let's be honest. They both dodged a bullet to the head with that one.
Because they both would have shot each other in the face at the same time.
Courtney would have ended up, like, strangling Madonna to death out of, like, admiration and love.
Yes.
Yeah, like, that is, like, a crazy moment. And then, of course, like, they went on to, like, have this, like, love-hate relationship throughout the years. And, like, there's this really funny little section of Madonna's brother's book where he writes about, like, doing drugs with Courtney at Donatella Versace's house. But she was, like, pretending to be sober at the time. So she pulled, like, this cocaine out of her bag, and she was like, oh, what is that? And he was like, Courtney, that's cocaine. And she goes, are you serious? And she's like, well, should we, like, do it since I have it. Like, it's here. Like, she pretended to not know what it was.
That is, honestly, put that in a script. That is high comedy indeed. What? Oh my God.
She's like,
what?
Cocaine? Are you serious?
Oh my God, I almost put this in my coffee. I thought it was sugar. Thank God you told me.
She's like, well, should we snort it? Right now? Yeah. You think?
Okay. All right. Well, can't waste it.
The sun's still up.
I don't know. Is there anything else from this article?
I don't think so. Like I said, it's pretty thin. I will say, once you guys look at this on Patreon, you're going to love the pictures. It's so... I would frame these for sure.
So yeah, we'll end it with some ads. Well, this ad is on page 76, and it's kind of one of my favorite sort of ad spreads where it's black and white and offensive. So on this one, it's there is an ad just for the REM fan club, just an address, just a PO box. That's it.
This is amazing. Oh my God. Wait a minute. You could be a supermodel in just 10 minutes. My makeup never looks right. Why can't I put makeup on like she does? Now you can with the new 10-step method. A booklet that shows you the opportunity to have a professional makeup artist at your fingertips. Booklet B is a simple guide to matching makeup to your own color of hair, skin, and eyes. These ads are amazing. The Famca one, the exclusively represent the modeling agency.
Oh, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
My God.
A slip-on nose ring. Totally cool and outrageous. 100% authentic look. Pierce not needed.
Overweight. 7 to 17. If you want to lose 5 to 50 pounds. Girls 17 to 25. Young adults. Call Camp Shane in Hudson, New York.
Now, so that goes along with the theory that I have that I mentioned earlier. So there is such a dissonance between the ads in here and the vibe of Sassy. I realize, they have to have ads. They have to make money to make the magazine. I think it's a beggars can't be choosers situation.
Yeah.
Because at one point there's an ad for that ice skating movie that they make fun of.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's very just put it in there. Nobody's going to actually look at it anyway.
Nobody cares. Whatever.
I'm going to say my favorite ad in this entire magazine is on page 82.
Oh.
It is for Perfumania, and it is the official, it's the non-official Phantom of the Opera perfume, but they can't call it that, so they call it the Phantom. It's so cool. It is literally so cool.
Oh, wow. There's Weight Watchers Camp. There's Tony Sparber's New Image Weight Loss Camp, and then Camp Shane. There's 3. That is truly wild. And so many trained to be a model. It was just, everybody wanted to train to be a model. Yeah.
There's an official Barbizon ad in there, and then on top there's a bunch of other ones too.
It's it's very pre-influencer where this seemed to be your only route to child stardom.
Yeah.
Is to get scammed into modeling school.
And it was easier to scam people because it was really easy to sell those stories. And
yes,
my mom used to take me to those those casting calls when I was, because I would beg to go.
Oh, and yeah.
I'll never forget, there was this really awkward one where I went, her really good friend from work was also going with her daughter, and they had us come up to the table and smile and show our dimples and read a sentence or something or whatever, and talk about what's your favorite activity, just whatever. And we were sitting next to each other. My mom's friend didn't get yeah, it was literally
oh my God,
mortifying.
It's so Pearl.
I know. I was might as well go home. Everything they're looking for is right here.
Troy, I can't believe that didn't take off and turn you into a child star.
I did not become the Nickelodeon star that I hoped and dreamt.
I could totally have seen you on all that.
That was my dream. I wanted to do...
Mine too.
I was like, I'll get on all that, and then they'll love me so much that they'll put me on SNL, and I'm set.
That was the most obvious pathway.
Yeah. Because Lauren is obviously a huge All That fan.
Well,
I could have been Kenan. Kenan took my goddamn career.
Oh my God.
He stole my goddamn house.
Well, did we do it?
I think we did it, and I am so happy that we did because I am officially a Sassy Magazine girl.
We're sassy girls. We thought we were nylon girls, but it turns out we're sassy girls. I mean, we already knew we were sassy goyles, but now we're sassy girls.
Yeah, I'm really excited to do more issues of this magazine. Do you know when it stopped? Like, when is it? Did it stop in the 90s or
88 to 1996?
Wow.
I mean, that's why we never came across it. Like 96, we were
looking through I Spy books.
Yeah. Oh, I was reading American Girl magazine.
Oh, hello.
Which we will be doing one day.
I would love to, please.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, thanks you guys
for... This was fun. We always say that. When is it not fun? I guess
it's always fun.
It's always fun.
But this was fun and informative, and it was cool to, like, for both of us to kind of discover a magazine, like, together. Like, neither of us had, like, you know, a ton of knowledge about it. And this was cool. And like I said, I think it'll be fun to do more Sassy Magazine.
Absolutely. Duel. Yeah, and we're on Patreon. We got fun stuff. And follow us on Instagram. And please hit us with a letter to the editor and 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we love you.
We love you so much. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
This season on The Dream.
Supplies are being provided by nurses who run out in the middle of the night and purchase diapers. But the hospital is still charging as if they still have these items.
We are digging into every topic we've ever wanted to cover on this show.
It's a spinning plate analogy. The second that you stop spinning those plates, that crashes. So you can never stop working.
The Dream Season 4 comes at you weekly starting Monday, January 20th.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.